That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You and me have the exact same dynamic, being older siblings, because that's how I have a very strong theory that that's why my sister ended up quitting karate and
Yeah.
kind of just bouncing off and doing her own thing.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I do feel, I don't necessarily feel bad about it, because of course it's just not her gifting, but it's coming down to the fact that she's getting ready to go to college. Do you have any advice that I could probably take to get her at least back into martial arts and may at least pick up the self-defense side? Because of course college, sending her off, I'm personally very worried.
Courses are good. I like courses for that kind of stuff. I would look into weekend-long or day-long women's self-defense courses. I think that you need a lot less training than you think you do for self-defense.
Okay.
If you want to be good at fighting, that is another thing completely.
Okay.
And I think that people get good at fighting and self-defense mixed up sometimes. I think that you have to train incredibly hard to get good at fighting. And don't get me wrong, the better you are at fighting, the better you are at defending yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I think that basic self-defense is a lot more to do with your observation of your environment, use of tools.
Yeah.
I think is a huge thing, like pepper spray, knife, gun, taser, things like that.
I know she carries pepper spray with her.
And she should get a practice trainer. So this here is it's my fanny pack. So it has all the things that I carry on it on a regular basis, especially when I walk around in the summer here in Virginia Beach in shorts all the time.
Yeah. That
don't have very good pockets or waistbands. So knife is on it. I have a spare mag, flashlight, pepper spray, guns in here somewhere, right? But as far as tools go, I think one of the most beneficial tools, self-defense tools for women, is going to be pepper spray. But this company, Palm, I'm not sponsored by them or anything.
Palm, just
Palm,
saying.
P-O-M.
Hey, Palm, we'll tag you if you're looking for sponsors. I'm just saying.
Okay, cool. No, but I love these. One, they're super small, and they have a waist clip. A lot of them go on keychains, which I don't like, because then you can't put it like inside of a waistband when you're running or working out at the gym, stuff like that. And this is super lightweight. And the second thing I like most about this is that it actually comes with a trainer. Squirts water.
Okay.
Pepper spray, you do have to aim.
Yeah.
It is not like a cloud of fume that comes out of the front and you don't have to aim it anywhere. That would then, any shift of the wind and it would blind you instead of your attacker. So this is a spray that goes in a targeted fashion towards someone's face. So what I like is that this is the don't press that one spray, or else you get some fun results.
Different podcast.
Then you can pull this off. Maybe when me and Dan are in the car.
It's like a switch around from Hot Ones.
Yeah. So then you just take this and you insert it into the same thing.
Cartridge.
And now it sprays
very cool
water instead of the other stuff. Because the biggest thing with women carrying like pepper spray is that they don't train with it. They've never pressed the button. They've never aimed it at anything. They've never practiced pulling it out of their purse.
Yeah.
So when should it be deployed? When they're talking to someone that they're unsure of.
Yeah.
Not when they're being grabbed and tackled. That's not the time to go for your pepper spray.
Yeah.
You have to pre-prep it, and it should be in your hand during the conversation with someone in a parking garage, or you're out late at night at campus and someone's following you home. Yeah. It should be in your hand if you feel like that there's a problem, and deployed as the person comes close to you.
Yeah.
Which is why you need to be aware of your surroundings, and not just, I'm aware, but it's like you have to be attentive to the ever-changing environments around you and not get task fixated on certain things like looking at your phone or other things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I like this as like a really basic tool. It's more palatable if your sister is into stabbing people. There's other
Correct.
wrong way to say that, but if If it is inside of her personality that she has no problem committing violence against people to save her own life, I'll put it that way, then there are plenty of knife options that are really, really good too for basic tool sets.
Okay.
So I'm a huge proponent for women carrying tools. I think guns are the most feminist thing that has ever happened, and a woman's right to carry a gun. If you
Evens out the playing field.
if you want to be empowered, a gun is a great way to be empowered.
Yeah.
You know, no 300-pound man can stop a bullet with his chest. So it doesn't matter how big, strong. This affects most people. Some people, though, are genetically immune to pepper
Excuse
spray.
me?
Yes. So
What? I did not know that.
yep, some people can get sprayed with OC spray, and it does nothing to them.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right? So again, all tools have exceptions. So some people get tased and nothing happens.
They just power through it.
Yeah, they just power through it. Some people get pepper sprayed, and there's a genetic component where they just don't feel it.
Yeah.
So all these things have their inherent weaknesses, but this is a really good one. Yeah, so I would say for concern with like college age daughters, sisters, even moms, and they're not willing to commit to a training, to like a weekly training,
Yeah.
that they don't have to. They need some basic courses on muck, which is how to handle or managing an unknown contact, how to address someone verbally that's coming up to them, how to set boundaries. If you don't know how to set personal boundaries for your own space, it's going to be very difficult for you.
Yeah.
So the enforcement of boundaries will be really, really crucial. And if you can't do that in your regular life, then it will be hard for you to do that in self-defense.
Yeah.
So if you're a pushover, you need to be less of a pushover. And I think that's part of growing up. If you're a jerk, you should be less of a jerk. If you're a pushover, you should be less of a pushover.
Finding something in the middle.
Finding something in the middle, exactly.
How common are those courses that you mentioned?
We have them every once in a while. I don't know of a course that I would recommend off the top of my head. Okay. I would have to do some research, but we're trying to get one of our female instructors here doing them on a regular basis. We'd like to do them probably next summer. We want to start and do them and do like 3 weekends in a row for 4 hours or something like that. So you get some really good basics, but it's not anything too intensive, or you have to spend 10 years doing it to get some basic self-defense. Yeah.
Okay. And what is some of the content that'll be going over the courses and like what's in the works for those?
Definitely managing unknown contacts, and like the verbal use of boundaries, basic strikes, basic standing up from off the ground, and then the employment and use of pepper spray and/or knives, I think would be great tools to start with.
How was that first experience? Like, did you notice very much of it? I mean, let's be honest, you're how tall?
6'4".
6'4", giant male teaching martial arts. Was it difficult to start teaching females the martial arts? Did you find that to be a hard transition or hard to do?
I think that there's a different stylistic approach. But no, I think that human bodies move in pretty much the same way. I'm not a huge fan of the term women's self-defense.
Okay.
And the reason is because it predisposes that there are techniques that work better for smaller people versus larger people.
Okay.
And I don't think, and that's not in my evidence true, because if there are techniques that work better for smaller people, they also work just as well for large people.
Okay.
So,
just in different ways.
well, a groin kick from a woman if I do it, it hurts way more.
Fair enough.
So yes, she can hurt you with it. Me, I can cause a testicular rupture. You know, so like yes, that technique works well for smaller people against larger people, but larger people can absolutely use it against smaller people to very devastating effect. So human bodies, to me, are just human bodies. And male and female, it doesn't make much of a difference. I teach my guys to hit people in the groin. I teach women to hit people in the groin. I teach guys to stick fingers in eyes. I teach women to stick fingers in eyes.
Yeah.
So self-defense to me is just self-defense. When you're talking about the movement, there can be certain tools. I would recommend these tools for men and women. So I carry all the tools. So there's not even really a tool difference. So to me, self-defense is really just self-defense. There's not much difference, male or female, or teaching women is different. I think that there are some special considerations. Long hair is a special consideration. Guys have it too, and it will definitely be used against you, I think, if you have it.
Yeah.
Being ripped backwards or something like that and being controlled by your hair is absolutely awful.
Always saw it in school fights, just like
Yep.
weaves getting just ripped out of
Oh yeah.
scalps.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's,
Yep. So clothing that is restrictive and unpractical,
yeah.
heels. If you are concerned about your safety, these are things that you might want to consider mitigating,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to walk around in 5-inch heels, you have to know
The area that you're walking.
the area that you're in, where are you going and why are you going in these 5-inch heels? Will you be walking down alleyways or areas that crimes might be committed in heels, right? I think about these same things. When I go to church, I carry.
Yeah.
And when I carry, I'm aware of the limitations of my footwear, the clothing that I wear. Is it too tight and restrictive?
Yeah.
I'm aware of my gear. How will I be able to access things when I need to access them, right? So I think that when women say, well, I'm wearing this and I'm wearing that, and it's like, yes, that is also a choice.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of where you are and what you're doing on that specific activity and choose the appropriate attire for that situation.
What do you say to people who say that this way of thinking, carrying the weapon, thinking about going through the alleys, not wearing what you want to wear, they think that this is beyond insane? What do you say to
Probably.
that?
I would say that the safety we feel now is a construct of only the last maybe 200 or 300 years of human existence. Every single freed man who was freeborn, not a slave in his country, back in ancient times and throughout history, has been armed, traditionally. If you go look back at knights, you go look back into not like even like 400 years ago, ceremonial swords were not so ceremonial. Men carried swords on a very consistent basis.
Yeah.
It was one of the signs that you were a free man, is that you could carry a weapon. Slaves couldn't. So I think that it is more insane that we think that we live in a time where responsibility for our own safety, we can give that to other people. The police are not there for your safety.
Yeah.
They're there to investigate your murder after it's committed and catch the people who did it and to process the evidence. They're not in the business of stopping bad things from happening to you.
Yeah.
They are in the business of making sure that people who do bad things, the emphasis is on have already done the bad thing, are caught.
Yeah.
So it really is still on me, even to protect my own safety and the safety of my family.
Yeah.
Just like it's on me to provide for my family. And so I think the more insane view is the modern view that we have now, which has not been around for that long. And I think that it's a sign of, like as I said, slaves forfeited responsibility and had no means to protect their own safety. Yeah. Freedmen were responsible for their own safety and for the safety of their family and their farm and their community.
Yeah.
And I think that's a much more sane way of looking at it than the inverse, which is, I'm not responsible for me. Someone else is. Someone else will take care of me. And I don't have to think about bad things or bad people. Good stuff. I like being out here. It's nice.
Yes, it's a lot warmer, or a lot cooler.
It is.
That's my immediate first thought.
It's like we're not sweating in there?
It's not sweat. I'm not